Hello everyone and welcome back to the final part of the chassis variant series featuring the Corsair. This is the 7R model, which I decided to do in a very gaudy pirate paint, as I imagine there's probably some pirates that just have this kind of neo-punk kind of thing going on with some of their mechs. So this is the last model that by default comes with a lot of rocket launchers. It has I switched this up because it had a slightly different setup for the rocket launchers, but I've got the 220s, I've got a 15 and a 10 for that big old one-shot punch. Other than that, I also installed the AC20s are already there, and I think I had a couple of lasers, but I dropped those and swapped those for snub-nose PPCs because I'm kind of on a bit of a roll with those things at the moment. And yeah, basically this is a brawler through and through. That's all it's built for. Now sure, it's got a lot of missile hardpoints, so rocket launchers might not be your thing, so you could swap these up obviously for something a bit more splat-worthy, SRMs, MRMs, or streaker mech to take out any of those pesky lights that decide to get too close to you, or LRMs, which obviously are still in that kind of awkward phase at the moment from changing up. But yeah, I quite like the rocket launcher motif of this one, the idea of it just being able to walk up, fire, and then keep walking forward and just firing everything at point blank range and doing as much damage as humanly possible before it's destroyed or the enemy's dead. So yeah, I thought this perfectly fits a kind of pirate assault mech pretty much straight on, especially the idea of it being around a periphery build as well, because rocket launchers have been around in the periphery for decades prior to their introduction into MechWarrior Online, with them being a sort of they were added alongside things like ATMs and rotaries and stuff, but rocket launchers are actually an older piece of tech. They were used a lot in the periphery by a lot of even the periphery states, not let alone the pirates and other lowlives that hang around those locations. Because certain weapon systems like SRMs were difficult to manufacture, difficult to get ammunition for, that kind of thing. So rocket launchers are simple because you don't have to have the stowage inside the mech. It just gives you a one shot that does an okay amount of damage, and you focus on your other weaponry. As such, yeah, they were quite common in periphery states and being used amongst many militias and the such. So yeah, when they were added in MechWarrior Online, I think part of the weird part of it is that visually in MechWarrior Online, rocket launchers look quite sci-fi. If you get what I mean, they look more high-tech than an SRM launcher does. An SRM just looks like a bunch of holes in the mech with little brown missile nubs on them, whereas these things have these like sort of like this weird sort of blue colour that they look kind of like the more modern and high-tech and slick. They look more compact. Yeah, they don't look like this kind of jury-rigged piece of weaponry that's been like just shoved in there with one shot kind of thing. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but I've always liked the idea of having rocket launchers on something like a pirate-themed mech, because you can imagine them sort of dropping onto a world for a raid, and yeah, they're only going to be using it once. That was my shot, by the way. I hit the Cyclops, but apparently I hit his arm. So, I mean, yeah, fuck that guy's arm. The problem is most Cyclops don't carry weapons in their arms these days, so it was a bit of a waste. Still, the AC20 did me well. Can't go wrong with a good AC20. Good old AC20, not Ultra 20. I mean, I probably could have run with an Ultra 20. I could have run with a Heavy Gauss if I wanted, which you can fit in these things. And I wouldn't be surprised if Heavy Gauss do become one of the de facto kind of ballistics on these mechs, because a lot of the ballistics are very high mounted, so it does make using them quite preferable for people who like to do kind of poking shots and that kind of thing, and utilising the terrain to sort of aim up and over and not expose as much of their mech as possible. So yeah, I mean this round is getting into the dying stages now as part of Glorious Domination. I know some people have been asking for that for a while with some mechs, and yeah, this one, all the drops went really well for me. They were fun. It ruined my throat doing that orc voice for it, so if you don't enjoy it, I do apologise. If you do enjoy it, well, I'm glad there was some oh Christ, it's still getting me now. There was some bonus from it. Man, my throat gets really itchy after that. So, anyway, yeah. If you haven't picked up the Corsair pack, it's a decent assault mech. Actually, it's not too bad. I wouldn't say miss it. If you're desperately looking to spend some real money and you want to get a new mech, Corsair's not a bad choice. Just come out. If you want to wait for C-bills, I definitely think a couple of variants of this would be worth picking up. because it is pretty good assault mech. Maybe the clans will get some kind of equivalent to back this thing up, because yeah, this thing's nasty. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a good week. I'll see you next time for more of the regular chassis variant series, and until then, have a good one. Bye!